A vintage clothing shop made a stop in Hancock for a special one-night sale event. Vere de Vere Vintage is a full vintage clothing boutique that operates a little different than a normal small business. TV6's Houghton Hancock Bureau reporter Sarah Blakely visited the shop to get an up-close look at this pop-up business.
Hillary Block's vintage small business Vere de Vere Vintage set up in a cozy Hancock studio to take people back to a simpler time. Racks with mink coats and classic suit sets dating back to the 30s through the 60s filled the room for a special one-night pop-up sale.
My business as a pop-up business is hosted by other businesses, and I open up a full-scale vintage clothing boutique for one night only.
Block began Vere de Vere Vintage 10 years ago, selling her clothing on eBay until she saw the success of a friend's pop-up restaurant.
I thought that that was a fantastic idea and I would be able to easily implement that into my business model.
Thus began her own pop-up shop. Though she lives in Marquette, Block travels from city to city selling clothing, handbags, and accessories she buys at estates.
I like to get to know the families and get to know who these women were, what their tastes in fashion were, and more about their lives.
Block says not having a physical storefront allows her to be a full-time mom and gives her the chance to travel.
I get to build relationships with other interesting local businesses, and that I don't have to have the overhead and time commitments that would be involved with a brick and mortar shop.
She says she hopes to one day have a traveling studio bus to take her vintage clothing across the country. Sarah Blakely, TV6 News, Hancock.